How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Big Six. As always, a bit late, but we are here, people. Apologies for the slight delay. Make sure you guys hit the like button. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to every single channel in the description. If you haven't already, there's 1,000 people waiting. So, love for the love. What are you, man, saying? Steve, SAEED, GRIZZ, TOBS, Matisse.
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Look at that smile, man. Look at that smile, man. Take a picture of that.
Top of the league.
Nah, we don't. I'm not really gloating about that.
Man.
I'm not really gloating about that. It's good, but I'm not really gloating about that. I'm happy Spurs won, and I'm even more happy that Arsenal are absolutely mudded. 5-0. We can't start anywhere else but that match. I'm delighted. It's been a fantastic weekend for me. Fantastic.
Well, I was gonna try, but since you said we can't start anywhere else, we might as well start in it. Steve, good day out on Saturday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we spoke a lot, obviously, about Arsenal's problems, and I expected a tougher game. I'll totally be honest with you, but the Arsenal team. There's no fight there. There's no passion there. It just stinks from Evan to me. If I'm watching that, I'm fuming. But well, the Arsenal fan base, the Arsenal fans in the ground were great. They got behind the team. Fair play to them. Coming out the ground, they had a meltdown, mate. Their meltdown was outside. The guys just lost 5-0. It was crazy. But on the pitch, I mean, we looked really sharp. I thought another week under the belt, what I said, would take its toll. I thought Ferran Torres, I know we've said he's not a striker, number 9, but he keeps playing him there. He got 2 poachers goals, which is brilliant for us when we need a striker. Gives us a little bit of hope. The Arsenal team, I was looking at Arteta, and all he was barking orders was about was shape and all that. And they had a great shape, but they're getting torn apart. And then you've got players like Rob, was it Holding at the back with Murray?
No, it was Holding, Chambers.
Holding and Chambers.
Well, Holding.
Murray didn't play.
Holding was like, I don't know what he was trying to be. He was like trying to be like some sort of hard man. And
Steve, I'm glad you said it. He was acting like a tough guy, innit?
He was right in front of me at one point, and he's bouncing into Ferran Torres, and he was giving it the bigger than that. And I think on the next corner, I think Diaz was like barged him out of the way. So I thought they're trying to act something. It just didn't look right, the whole setup. But look, we've scored 5 goals at home again. So that's 10 goals in 2 games. We've got no striker. So, I mean, for me, we need a striker. But I just said to somebody before, if you've got to trust your manager at a football club, in our case, because our manager is winning us trophies and we're doing all right. So if Pep's telling me we don't need a striker, then it's on Pep, you know what I mean? I'm going to take a step back. But he said he can play Mahrez up front, Sterling up front, Delap, Torres. So he's obviously, he's going to mess about with it, I think. I think we're just going to end up with one of them things. I mean, last year with De Bruyne, it worked and we won the league. This year, you never know. But from a Man City point of view, we've bounced back great. To lose against Spurs, we were disappointed. To come back and get 2 home games under the belt, 5 goals each, is brilliant. Now we've got an international break, so hopefully we get everybody back, fit. De Bruyne's coming back, Foden's coming back. So from the Man City point of view, the City fans I spoke to outside the ground, everyone's happy. We're chilled with it. We're relaxed with it. But Arsenal, that's a different story. You need to tell me, because the problems there, man. The problems are bad. And you know what? I've been an Arteta fan, and I've said what I've said on him. But I spoke to a lot of Arsenal fans outside the game after, and I think they just had enough now, man. They've had enough. They spent all that money, and they've still got no hope. They're like, there's no hope. Odegaard, as well at weekend, too soft, mate. Too soft. Getting knocked all over the place. Wasn't really asked. Rodri was sneaking up behind him, whipping the ball from him. And that press, whatever that press was supposed to be, that Aubameyang was fucking doing, was just, I've never seen anything like that. I
Say that again.
I pushed harder than that when I went for a hot dog at half time to get to the
This guy loves his hot dogs.
I'm telling you, as you can see, I am partial to the odd hot dog. But listen, if there's a race between me and a Bammy man for a hot dog, I'm gonna fucking beat him.
What's he calling it? A Bammy man?
Yeah, no,
a Bammy man.
We need some phonics lesson with you, man.
I was on AFTV, and I was praying to God nobody asked me about a Banya man because I couldn't say it.
Don't say it, Steve.
No, let him say it, man. He's killing it. It's lovely.
The whole week of previews, my channel AFTV.
No, it's brilliant because we had a boomerang. A boomerang was the last name we had on here. Now we got a Bamya man. So it's
Just say
brilliant.
Abba. Just say Abba.
Nah, man, this is way better. It's way better.
Banyamang, that's what it's called to me. I'm a Mancunian, and in Manchester it's called a Banyamang, all right. That's how we say it.
I'm from Manchester. I call him a Bamiyang. You're from Stockport, that's why.
Oh,
In fact, just for the chat, yeah. How many miles away from Stockport do you live, Saeed?
No, but
It's not
Stockport,
even 1 mile,
Manchester.
mate. And how many miles do I live from Stockport? So Stockport, Saeed, keep it on the low, yeah?
No, I live in South Central Manchester. Stockport is in a Cheshire location.
you guys film a lot together. I'd assume you're quite close.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really.
So I feel like Steve would know like your location.
Yeah, you don't want to go back, by the way.
No, but
I saw you said you live near Moss Side, Saeed.
City fans were singing "Who Put the Ball in the Arsenal Net?" Half the fucking team did. They were singing that, so that was peak. But yeah, man, and there was some weird thing from the players at the end where they all walked over to the Arsenal end and clapped as if it was like that makes a difference for what the shit they just served up. You know what I mean on the pitch. So
yeah,
they were celebrating.
I'm glad you touched on that, Steve, because you know when I done the watch along for AFTV, at the end of it, when I saw the players and the manager go over there, I thought to myself, you can't get away with it like this, because you know how sometimes you hear, you know, the least you can do is come over and clap the away support and big up the away support, because going to Manchester for lunchtime from, you know, London, you have to be up at 4 or 5 in the morning to do that. So good, you know, big up everyone that still travelled in the time, you know, we're in at Arsenal Football Club, but I just think too much emphasis is put on clapping the fans and you know that being such a big thing, and they seem to get away with a lot. Here, Saeem says Edu is incompetent. I'm 100% sure he got his negotiation skills from the same people that feed GRIZZ the transfer news.
Aye.
Look at GRIZZ. GRIZZ is just like, excuse me, are you talking to me?
Yeah, no. I just heard my name. What are you saying?
Chris, can I ask you a question, Chris?
What are you saying? So are you questionnaire tonight? So you first want to ask Saeed questions. Now you want to ask me questions.
Yeah, no.
Is this question time tonight? What's going on?
Can I ask you one question?
Of course you can, my friend.
Are you going to a GRIZZ tribute night tonight with that jacket on? Because you look like one of the Freebirds.
He's got the barber on.
Thank you very much. This ain't a joke. How much this was?
Where you off to tonight? It's a Monday, you know.
Yeah.
You.
It's bank holiday. You know that. Come on, it's bank holiday.
So you're up to no good, yeah?
It's bank holiday, man. You know that.
Got the leather jacket on.
A trip to Tesco's. That's
Okay. You got me. Okay.
You know, Saeed, Michael says he's down.
The night is young. Okay.
Getting on with some friends. Can't wait to go out Manchester to experience clubbing down there, as Southampton's boring at the moment. Any recommendations?
Yeah, man, come down, man. I'll sort you out.
Nah, Saeed, I've seen Saeed's dance moves though. He can move a little bit.
He's got this one twist that he does with his sunglasses on with the flag. One twist.
We've got to be excited, innit? Let me enjoy my life, guys, man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? We just signed Ronaldo.
Yeah. On Arsenal City though, like I think Matisse hit the nail on the head with the score last week, almost by giving Arsenal too much credit to score at the Etihad, and like fair enough, maybe not many people expected a 5-0, but I think the majority would have known that Arsenal were not going to score. against Man City at the weekend, because this has been a team fundamentally that have struggled to score under Arteta. And it just doesn't make sense to me now. Like, it's been a recurring theme since the guy has taken over this job. Like, the goal tally is constantly down. The method of scoring for Arsenal is just so wayward and inconsistent. And you're just thinking to yourself, what is it going to take for the Arsenal board to sack this guy? Like, and it's mad that I'm saying this as a Spurs fan, because I want you lot to keep him. But just as a general football fan, how on earth has this guy still kept his job? How is he still in the job today? Because it's just incompetence after incompetence, and it's shocking results. 9 goals conceded. The guy breaks records constantly for the wrong reasons, and he's still in the job. It makes no sense to me. He's lasted. I swear he's outlasted Emery now, hasn't he?
Nah. Emery made it to what, November? He got sacked.
So how many months did Emery have? Didn't he have like?
Yeah,
like
he had one full. Actually, you're right. Actually, one full.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's outlasted Emery, who finished 5th in his first season and got to Europa League final. Yeah, like, he's outlasting some of these other managers in the Premier League who are better than him and have performed better than him, but have got the sack. I don't really get what it is that Arsenal are clinging on to with Arteta. Like, what is the optimism? What is it that Arsenal are looking at and saying, yeah, this guy's the guy to turn it around?
But outside looking in, TOBS, do you feel like it is that they see something, or it is the
they
lack
have
of
to.
care? No,
They
but
have to.
I
They have
actually
to see
think that
something.
they don't care. I actually think they don't give a shit now.
No, I don't think they don't care. I just think they're incompetent. I think it's gross incompetence. You can't. They've given him 150 million to spend. They evidently care about wanting to do well, but they're just so incompetent at their jobs that they don't know how to. They haven't put the right people in the job for years and years and years. And people want to talk about, oh, when you speak on Arteta, people say, oh no, but you have to. It's not just Arteta. You have to look at the board. Like, the two aren't mutually exclusive. The board can be fuck-ups and Arteta can be bad at his job. Like, both things are happening. Both things can be correct. And for me, it's just incompetence after incompetence. You look at the situation with Ainsley Maitland-Niles today. I'm seeing him putting up Insta stories about wanting to leave Arsenal. Yeah. Wolves were in for this guy last season. Arsenal didn't sell him and kept him for 6 months, didn't play him, loaned him out to West Brom. And now you're saying you want to keep him, but you're not giving him any game time and you won't let him go to Everton. It makes no sense to me. Kolasinac was on loan last season. Guy was rubbed. The guy's a bad defender. And he's starting against Man City. It makes no sense.
Defending him as well, I think he made it worse.
Was like,
it's like,
he's going to do that though, and he's going to do that.
One of your mates is in trouble though, innit? And you're there trying to big him up so he don't get in shit. That's how it was. I felt he was embarrassed. Should be. It was a bit cringy, I thought, for Pep. I know he's going to back his mate, but into that level, saying, oh, he's this and he helps us this, and that 2-0, they were this and they were that. It was a load of bollocks, you know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Pep is such a liar.
When you see Daniel James being sold for 30 million and we can't even get 20 million for the Switzerland captain, for fuck's sake, and all of this, Bellerin, and what's actually going on? Like, who? You see Arteta. Arteta's the face of the problems that managers always are the face, because they're the ones answering it week in, week out. But I don't think any of us here are naive enough to think that if Arteta gets sacked, Arsenal get a manager in that's going to really be able to change it around. Unless it's an Antonio Conte, where I'd think that the board have changed their ways, because to get a Conte in, you need to change your ways. He left Inter because he's not getting backed. He didn't go to Tottenham because he didn't get what he wanted. If he signed for Arsenal, there must be something there. But I feel like every other manager available is a manager that will work under circumstances. And when you have a chance to work at Arsenal Football Club, all right, it's been banter for a few years, a lot of years. We've been on the downhill slope a lot of years, but it's still a big club, and it's still on any manager's CV to work for Arsenal Football Club. It's a massive thing, especially if you think you can turn it around, because the next manager to turn this ship around will be loved.
I didn't think they had a shot, though. You didn't have a shot, did you? And the way we were pressing,
the throw close down of Edison as a shot. I think that was the shot that they put down.
For you not to come try and get us on the counter attack the way we were pressing as well, it was just, I don't know. I've seen it with my own eyes now. I know what you're saying. You ain't going to try and defend Arteta now after that. I've been in them away ends on wrong side of them results for a long time, and they're not easy. And when the players come over with that patronising clap, when they don't give a shit and they've not even tried, it's
Don't you think? Don't you think,
think-
Steve, as well? Go on, Matisse. Actually, go on. You go.
I just think Arsenal have separation issues, to be honest, because at this point, the players that you've listed that they should have got rid of, Willian being released to go and play now in Brazil 1 year after you sign him on the big wages, so he can cook chicken nuggets in his restaurant and whatnot, and get 1-star reviews from the Arsenal fan base, and then he packs up his shit and goes. That just really sums up the way this club has been run from top to bottom for the last God knows how many years. That transfer there is a shambles. Do you know what I mean? To take one of our leftovers again and try and run it out for the last hurrah, and you get nothing out of it. And that performance was a joke. Do you know what I mean? I'm about to pose this question to GRIZZ in a minute because I need to get his stance on Arteta, because I need to get his stance on Arteta now, because that performance was, people talk about three at the back a lot, because I get this a lot as a Chelsea fan. Just because you play three at the back doesn't mean you're organised. It's two different situations. You can play three at the back and still be disorganized and discombobulated, and that's what that was. They looked like they had a rush of blood to the head the whole game. They couldn't manifest one shot. I'm disappointed in myself that I gave Arsenal a goal in my prediction, because if I just said 5-0, I would have some points. I mean, GRIZZ, what do you make of that? Surely his time's done.
Sorry, GRIZZ. Before you go as well, I just wanted to add to his incompetence as a manager. Lukonga's been Arsenal's best midfielder in the previous two games against Brentford and Chelsea. He doesn't start against Man City. He plays number 10 in Emile Smith-Rowe in central midfield. Like, the guy is actually, I don't even, the word I'm going to say will get me locked off on YouTube. The guy is a nincompoop. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. And I always say, whenever you can't make sense of what a manager is doing, it's time to go, bro. It's time to go.
And then when it costs you young players that are deemed to be future prospects. Do you remember the first 6 months we had Guendouzi? We got him in for about 8 mil. 6 months later, his market value was about 40 mil. He was on that list of, the young golden players and whatnot. A few years later, he's gone out with an option or an obligation to buy for 10 million at the end. You look at Saliba, apparently the next best thing as a defender. We started Kolasinac, Rob Holding, and Callum Chambers, 3 Arsene Wenger signings in the first, few games again in the 21-22 season. And people wonder why I say the overhaul needs to be quicker. How can you expect things to change when you're introducing players into the club, learning and watching the players at the club like Rob Holding starting still? You bought Pablo Mari. You bought him. And now he's not ahead of Holding or Chambers or Kolasinac. What the fuck is going on?
I mean, so look. Yeah. Me being the lawyer for Arteta, my advice would be plead guilty.
Wow, we've finally broken him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Mitigating the circumstances and just take what you get.
Joe Proctor gave up.
No, it's you can't defend the indefendable, man. The points Toby's made about the players, and then Matisse with the formation and his setup and tactics. I looked at that team and I thought to myself, what's he doing? What are you doing? But it can happen. It can happen to a manager where you get to a point where you're so scrambled in your thinking. You're so scrambled that it's so black and white that you're totally gone. And I think Arteta's at that point now. Even at the first game, do you remember we were discussing in terms of can't remember who we were discussing it with, whether Tierney's going to play as a left centre back, as opposed to things like that. As you said, that young midfielder what's his name? What's his name?
Lukonga, but he brought Tavares in, and instead of tucking Tierney into centre back like he did last season and putting Tavares out there.
Yeah, exactly.
The Kolasinac was the last straw for me.
Doesn't make sense.
No, and even though I'm not an Arsenal fan, that was the last. So I don't know how you guys feel. You guys must feel dead long time ago. But for me, as an outsider looking in, Kolasinac was the last straw. Picking him against all teams, to pick him against Man City. And I said it at the time, he's one of the worst players ever to play in the Premiership. in terms of the top 6, 8
The top
teams.
6, yeah.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. I mean, I don't mean the worst player, but in that top 6, right? He's one of the worst players, along with Mangala. And to bring him in out of the cold, really, innit, right? Rick, let me finish this.
Why Mangala?
No, leaving me spitting, he's spitting.
But yeah, so to bring him in out of the cold, like, because it's literally out the cold, right? Turkish, like he hasn't, like he was supposed to be sold long time ago, and this and that, and out of favor. And then you got Tavares, and you got Tierney, and you got other Pablo Mari, you got all the options, and you're playing him there. It's a recipe for disaster, and that's what you got right now at Arsenal. It's a disaster, absolute disaster.
If this is a crime scene, right? His fingerprints are on it. He's got blood all over his face. Do you know what I mean? His DNA is all over the scene. You can't defend. You can't attack. He can't influence the game from the bench. People are saying that his micromanagement is actually making it worse because when you didn't do anything against West Brom, the team played better. I know the opposition was way worse, but when you just shut up and sit down on your iPad and let the team play, they play a little bit better. His management of the squad and the personalities and the players that he shipped out on loan, etc., has been a shambles. The transfer business that he's heavily involved in with Edu has been a shambles. I can't give this man one green tick. If I'm grading his paper in GCSEs, he's getting straight Fs in every single category. He doesn't pass.
He gets a U, man.
He gets a U. Yeah, he gets a U.
Gets a U, man.
What's the process? You won the FA Cup,
bro.
Yeah, but that's what they're holding on to, man. You know what I mean? Let's be real. That's what they're holding on to.
Bro, there's nothing to hold on to. This is like holding. There's nothing to hold on to, bro.
Turkish, what's this talk about? People saying in the chat about Edu's going to get sacked about.
Yeah, so
probably Arsenal Bell. I said something about Edu sacked.
That's
huge.
Bell,
that happens.
AFC Bell, who seems to be some reputable source, apparently, he says that someone in the Arsenal hierarchy is under immense pressure. It's not Arteta, apparently. So it must be an Edu or a Vinay or something like that. If that's the case, it's fucking long overdue. And the fact it's happening a few days before or a few days into the transfer window ending, it kind of highlights how much of a mess we're in. Because surely you would get that right before allowing the club to spend what many deem enough money to improve. Yeah. So as much as people say we've spent more than the rest, and as much as people say Arsenal spent 130 million, look at the transfer markets of the past. Yes, it is greater, but you gave it to people that you're soon going to admit were not good enough. And for me, that's not good enough. It's one thing to blame Arteta and Edu for spending it, but it's another thing to blame the people for putting them in the position to spend it. Blue, I want to just read some super chats because we've got a few and I don't want to miss too many. Blue Moon says Varane's movement is better than most strikers in the league. Arsenal could get relegated if he stays. What happened to Lukaku? Is he still in Van Dijk's pocket? Listen, when we move on to that one, I'm sure Matisse would love to answer that one. Amir says, what annoys me most about Mikel Arteta is that he has great players with potential at his disposal, but he mismanages them and doesn't coach them right. Every single week, it's a different formation from Arteta. Players are confused and don't know what is happening each week, what their roles are, etc. And Peggy says, big up to Toronto. Been following since the first stream. # you'll never walk alone. Tell GRIZZ to get me as a striker and a Mane replacement. Love for the love, people. There's nearly 5K in the building, man. Nearly 5K here. Make sure you guys hit the like button, get it up to 1,000. Make sure you guys subscribe to every channel in the description. As always, support the rest of the team. We're in this together, so you got to support.
The thing is there too much problems in the club where you're thinking would Conte want to go in there and take that shot?
Don't get me wrong, my guy.
It's mad,
I don't think we listen with this owner. I don't think we can get a Conte. Impossible. But I want I don't want us to just aimlessly say Arteta out and then hope for the best with the next one. We have to say if Arteta's gone. We tried. We tried an Emery level manager where he won Europa Leagues and we're in the Europa League and he had some experience and we tried that. We tried a new and whatever manager, next best thing, coached under Pep and asked. It didn't work. Conte now, because I know Conte left Inter because he wasn't supported and I know he rejected Tottenham because he wasn't supported. If I wake up one day and it says Conte is a new Arsenal manager, I'd actually think about Kroenke and say, hold on. They must have said something for Conte to be here. They must have said something, but he's the only manager I'd take that. Don't get me wrong. I like Ten Hag. I do. Gasperini, I like some managers out there, but I don't believe none of them demand upwards as much as they demand downwards. And I think Conte and Simeone are the only managers, aside from Pep and Klopp, that do that I'd want at this club. So don't get me wrong, Saeed. I don't think we can get Conte.
Yeah.
But us fans, we can't just say Arteta out, and when he gets sacked, we're just there waiting like, yes, what's next? And then think the next man, if it's not Conte, is going to be able to change this around. He ain't.
I think, go.
I've said it before. I just don't think Conte is suited to the current predicament you're in. You're trying to build a young team to develop and to hopefully gradually, because it's going to take years to get back even into a top 4 contention race for you guys. It's going to take years.
That's what they're saying to us now, though, bro. Like, I ain't buying it.
I know you're not going to buy it, but with the current, you'd have to sack everyone. Like, it's top to bottom, everybody would have to go for that to change. I just don't see with your current layout how Conte can come in here and change it all and switch you. I mean, what's the highest Conte can take you to? Maybe a top 4. Conte is all about winning. That's what he thrives on. Every single job he walks into to win. So you guys are not going to become title contenders just with Conte. It's going to take a whole heap of investment, a whole heap of restructuring. And I just don't think Conte is going to sign up for something where the gap is, when he went to Inter Milan, Juventus were messing about with Pirlo, and there was, Sarri obviously didn't really appreciate the title he brought. There was an opportunity to go for a title. When he came to Chelsea, yes, we finished 10th, but the season before we won the title, there was an opportunity to go for the title. He doesn't tend to go to teams where the opportunity is not there. Conte is not going to look at top 4 and say, oh, yeah, I got top 4. That's not what Conte is about. Conte is about taking you from that contenders to winning. That's the bridge. That's the gap he's trying to bridge. Conte doesn't need to prove himself at Arsenal and raise his reputation in world football to show that he can rebuild Arsenal. I'm wondering what's in it for Conte. That's what I'm wondering, because I don't see anything in it for Conte going to Arsenal.
No, nor do I, bro. Nor do I. And that's why my thing is, I don't want us to relieve pressure when Arteta gets sacked, because it's not if anymore. When Edu gets sacked, when Arteta gets sacked, I don't want us to relieve pressure and wait and see and hope for the best. I think that's the time to continue pressure. And like you said, he wouldn't join in this predicament, but I say none of us, majority of us are not happy with this predicament. So the predicament has to change for us to be happy. If you want us to trust something, then stop telling us to trust the same thing you've told us to trust twice in a youth project. You've done this with Fabregas, Nasri, Clichy, and so on. You've done this with Wilshere, Ramsey, Oxlade, and so on. This ain't the first youth project you've tried to sell to us. But what you haven't done with them projects is build a team around the good young players. Fabregas has come out and spoke about it. Wilshere has come out and spoke about it. So, in my opinion, backing Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka would be to continue piling pressure and build a team around them that they can not only excel in the long term, but they can develop in the short term. At the moment, a lot of players are hung out there to dry. And a lot of them are young players that in reality, they shouldn't have the burden of turning Arsenal Football Club around. So, yes, Conte ain't going to come to this club, but that kind of tells you what it is. Arteta is a problem now, but if Arteta gets sacked, when Arteta gets sacked, we still have the same problem we have.
I think they're going to sack him though. They've just let him spend £130 million. If there was any inkling that he might not last 6 games, surely to God they keep the money in the pocket, let him ride the 6 games out, get sacked, and then the next manager comes in, give him 130 million. Because
you'd rather give it now, though. You'd rather give a new manager now because he's got Norwich.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to sack him.
Yeah.
I thought
they're not.
Trust in the process, they're going to sack him. You know what I mean? It's like United with Solskjaer. They've stuck a new contract on him. They've backed him with dough. It's going nowhere. Ray
Parlour was on TalkSport apparently earlier today, maybe yesterday. I don't know when it was exactly, but he said that Overmars spoke to him, and obviously they played together. Overmars spoke to him and said he wants to come and help out Arsenal. You can see what Overmars done at Ajax. I think if you get rid of Arteta and get rid of Edu, bringing in someone like an Overmars in that position goes a long way in saying, you know what, an Arsenal legend and someone that's done it in the business, someone that's done it in the last few years at another club that we can say, bring that to us. Edu and Arteta didn't have nothing that we can look at and say, bring that to us. It was all learning. And all we have is this last 18 months. So Overmars coming in, my worry is, Ten Hag comes in and then they're still restricted by Kroenke, even though that's very appealing. don't get me wrong, Ten Hag and Overmars is very appealing. If I could switch them around today, I would. Arteta and Edu out, Ten Hag, Overmars in. But I think they will also accept the restrictions that the club have in place. And I believe that we're too big a club to have those restrictions in place. We have an owner that limits that. Steve, you was going to say something.
It just becomes a point when a club becomes a poison chalice where it doesn't become attractive to anyone that's worth the salt. Because you look at someone like Conte and he's a winner and he's just won the league with Inter Milan. Why is he going to jump from that to come into a mess, which everybody now knows it's a mess? He ain't going to do it because his reputation could get knocked sideways again. And then he's out in the game. So he's not going to do it. And I think Arsenal's gone that far now, the way it is. I don't know where the next manager be. I think the next manager after Arteta will be someone who you don't think, because I don't think that.
What are you trying to say? Big Sam?
I don't think it's that attractive to people. But I mean, people can laugh at Big Sam Allardyce, but Sam Allardyce gets results sometimes.
He's a better manager than Mikel Arteta. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's true. And that's not even no banter. You know, he is a better.
No,
manager.
It's not banter. I wish I couldn't say that.
But if you see when Mourinho left United and they got Solskjaer, with Solskjaer, it was attractive to him because Mourinho had turned United into that much of a toxic place. For Ole to come in there, his first job was to get it right and all that, and he's doing what he's doing. But Arsenal, you look at it and you think, right, I could get the playing a little bit better, but then there's all this turmoil in the back, and then I've got someone over my shoulder telling me about this, and then the fans are giving people shit, and this. It just looked, the whole place from top to bottom just looks a mad mess. And if I'm a manager and I'm looking for a job, I'm swerving it.
And I think something like Maitland-Niles today coming out on Instagram, so boldly doing something like
the players are tagging your club in the fucking tweet.
It highlights how mad a situation it is behind the scenes. And it's mad to think Amazon are recording all of this.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's make no mistake about that. That's beautiful.
So much different madnesses going on.
Oh, I'm going to get so much popcorn when that gets released. Snacks. Yo, Toby, you want to watch it together? GRIZZ?
Let's do watch. Let's watch it.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it together. Do you know what I mean? I mean, why not?
We should do that. Big six watch along. All right, let's do that. Matisse, I'll actually come to stuff, or you can come to Bags.
You should do a watch along, fam. I'm telling you, or something. That could be something for the big six as well. Who knows?
I was out the studio for the night. Don't tell me what we're doing it for, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Before we move on, let me get some of the super chats in. Mid says he's like a criminal mastermind. Man is a fraud. Arteta's a good communicator with great influence at Arsenal Football Club with a weak board. That's why he's still here. Gurshab says more Chelsea related, which we will move on. Romeo Koulibaly is the best defender in the Prem with timber boots on. He manages to tackle himself, outscored by a 36-year-old who played in an average Juventus side. I knew Said would like that. I knew Said. But we're going to move on to Chelsea shortly. Let me just get a couple more in and then we'll move on to Chelsea.
Hell did I just read?
Jack says enough banter in Arsenal. It just doesn't feel right anymore. Varane looked so good yesterday. I now believe we have a chance to win something. Ronaldo. And one more here before we do move on. Let me just get it. Oh, I can't put it on the screen. But Brandon says, hi, Turkish. I'm hearing a lot of whispers that Arsenal are not impressed with Edu's dithering in the market and that they are looking in the possibility of replacing him with Mark Overmars. Well, when you hire a director of football that's not a director of football, you're bound to not be impressed by his delivery. Let's be honest here. If you hire someone that's not experienced in that role, and this is a role where you've given hundreds of millions of pounds to, it's no surprise that he's not good enough. That's basic business, acumen, for fuck's sake. You hire experience in the right positions, but it is what it is. Let's move on to Chelsea now. Half an hour in, we talked about Arsenal enough. I couldn't get away with it today. Hit the like button, people. Matisse.
See. Where do I start? I mean, first of all, with the Lukaku slander, I think, first of all, anybody who watched that game knows the second half was not a game of football anymore. That was basically us trying to survive with 10 men at, again, like I said on the preview, the most difficult away ground for us in the league for me this season. And with 10 men after that decision by Anthony Taylor in the first half, Lukaku was playing against Matip and Van Dijk on his own. Anytime there was a transition or a counter, he had nobody to link up with, nobody to help him. So he was just basically running into channels on his own. First half, I thought we was good. You know, we obviously had the lead up until the penalty, played well, created chances. I thought the final third decision-making from Chelsea does need to improve with Kai, Mason Mount, Lukaku. All of those guys could have been better with the decision-making, but it was a great goal from Kai in the first half. And we looked like we could potentially go on to at least, you know, threaten to win the game with 11 men. But I'm sure GRIZZ is going to give his take as well. But for me personally, I'm fine with taking a penalty against Anthony Taylor. If anybody's looked it up, which I'm sure only Chelsea fans have, we've got an absolutely horrendous record in terms of results with this man in charge. The amount of fraudulent shit that this brother's done in our games, whether it's, you know, Batshuayi getting kicks, or, you know, Aspilicueta getting tugged down, like, you know, in WrestleMania with Maguire from a corner. In games, we've had a whole heap of nonsense happen in games with him. But for me, to see a red card, I just think it was just over the top. It wasn't deliberate. For me, it hit his hip or his upper thigh and then bounced onto his arm. I'll take the penalty, but for a red card, I just think it's not necessary. I'm sure the chat's going to be... I don't know, because a few people after in the studio were saying that it wasn't meant to be a penalty. A lot of professionals were saying that. But also, forget that. Even if it was the correct decision in your opinion, the way that he checked it for me was just wrong. He didn't. It's called video assistance referee. It's not called still image assistant referee. Do you know what I mean? He didn't even play the clip. He spent like 0.5 seconds looking at the image to make the decision, and then just moved on with his day, like as if it was some light work, easy call. So even if the decision is correct, I would have preferred that he actually take the decision, you know, take a bit longer to make it, so we can actually really see it, you know, on replay properly from his viewpoint. But yeah, I'm just proud of the boys to get that performance and get that draw. Every man on that pitch, I'm not going to be giving anybody any grief for that performance. To come away from Anfield with a point with 10 men for a whole half, and really Liverpool didn't come out in the second half I expected. I expected them to be dominant. I expected them to create a fat load of chances. They really only had the first 10 minutes, and then they kind of just ran out of ideas. So that's how you defend with 10 men. So I'm proud of my team. I can't criticize anybody on that pitch.
GRIZZ, before we move to you, Hamza here says maybe GRIZZ can help me with this, but why do Liverpool fans hate it when teams defend? So many Liverpool fans are complaining about how we play. Listen, before GRIZZ does talk, I remember Arsenal fans being there too. 2005, 6s when Chelsea came through with Jose and whatnot, we held on to they don't play good football tag and all that. And 15 years later, you see what they've won and you see what we've won. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. GRIZZ, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, with just responding to that super chat, it's frustration. That's what it was. You know, it's frustration when you can't, sort of when a team does that to you. When your team does it, it's called tricks of the trade, dark arts, etc., etc. You know, but it is what it is. You know, Chelsea done what they had to, and fair play to this frustration when opposition fans call it parking the bus behind the ball, whatever. You can do what you want, however you need to play, you play. But going on to the match analysis, I pretty much agree with Matisse's version of events, except that I thought it was a definite red card, but we'll get to that. I thought we started off very well. I thought the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought it was exactly the high-octane game that I thought it was going to be. The intensity, the energy from both teams, the pressing was immense. Like, that was proper big boy football out there. We could have taken the lead. We had a couple of chances. Henderson, they both fell to the wrong players. They fell to Henderson's left foot and Elliott's right foot.
Yeah.
That falls to anyone else out of the team in those areas. You know, at least they get a shot on target, at least. Chelsea score a goal from a set piece, which was abysmal defending from us. Absolutely shocking. A 6-foot forward in the middle of the box, unmarked. Brilliant header, whether he meant it or not. He probably does. A player of Havertz's quality and vision probably meant that. I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. Then we were rattled. They had us rattled for 15, 20 minutes. They had us locked in. We couldn't get out. We couldn't find a pass. They should have capitalized. They didn't. And then we came back in the last 5-10 minutes frantically when Jota came on, basically. As soon as Jota comes on, he injected something different, ran at them, got the corner. I tweeted something about the handball, and I asked you guys to maybe help out and give an answer. It wasn't meant to trigger Chelsea fans or anything like that. I genuinely asked a question, and help me out, guys. When was the last time we saw a handball on a goal line not punished with a red card? I can't remember whether it's the rule or not rule. I can't genuinely remember. If there's a handball on a goal line which prevents a goal, it's always been a red. I can't remember any incidents that it wasn't.
Always. It's always
Yeah,
the rule.
always, yeah.
Chelsea. The funny thing is, Chelsea had one like that a couple years back against Arsenal. Oxlade-Chamberlain did the same thing, and it was a red.
No, but here, okay, so there's a difference there. Oxlade-Chamberlain's arm was out here, stretched out, like a goalkeeper thing.
I know you're going to say, but let me address that. Yeah, let me address that. Let me address that. Yeah, exactly. I think City got one when we won the league. City got a red card, didn't they, at Stamford Bridge? Steve, wasn't it?
What's that?
You got a red card as well. Fernandinho, yeah, on the card. From what I remember, so from what I remember from watching football for many, many years, it's always been a red card. In terms of whether he meant it and the deflection, Matisse, I know there's been a rule in place about the deflection, but the brother, as soon as he played slap ball, he played slap ball. So it hit his arm. As soon as he went like that, because he realized the velocity, the power of the ball wasn't enough to keep his arm in a natural position, and that would have been harsh if he was given a red card or even a penalty, maybe, because there's nothing he can do. But when he realized that's not going to be enough to stop the force of the ball, as soon as he made that motion, he's dead. That was the giveaway. So when people say, and also a thing, I've got a thing with Chelsea fans that said, "Oh, we would have won that." It would have been 1-1. Forget 10 men. But let's say he didn't get a chance. Let's say he didn't get sent off. The game would have been 1-1. Us attacking the cop, you trying to attack us more. So the game, you can't say it would have been 1-1. What I will say is Tommy Tuchel in that second half earned his money. I thought he outthought Jurgen Klopp. I thought his tactics, I thought the way he set his team up, I thought they totally nullified us. And Jurgen Klopp was way too passive with his changes, way too not cowardly, but I think the threat of Lukaku, and this is why I'm going to come back to Lukaku's performance. Even though Lukaku was pocketed, let's not beat around the bush, but the threat of Lukaku enforced us to not be able to attack how we wanted, even with 10 men. And that wasn't like Jurgen Klopp, I'm afraid. We had Oxlade, Naby, Minamino to do something different. Yet he brings on Thiago in the 77th minute. Do you remember when it was 10 men against Stamford Bridge last or a couple of seasons ago? Was it last season?
Yeah.
When he brought on Thiago at halftime, bang.
Yeah, changed the whole game.
And Thiago took over the game. He didn't have the balls to do it this time because he wanted the Fabinho protection of Lukaku in front of the centre-backs. So absolute credit from my no gas, no crack. Chelsea was superb, I thought. But that's the level I expect from Chelsea this season. They're absolutely up there with Man City and us as one of the big boys, and that performance showed it. Second half, we did start off like a house on fire, like shots on target. That's the most saves their keepers made ever in a Premier League game, apparently. This is why I've read off a Chelsea fan. So people that say, "Oh, he wasn't tested," he was. It's just we stopped. After 20 minutes, we ran out of ideas. We ran out of energy as well, which was not like us. So yeah, credit to Chelsea. I'm not overly disappointed because third game of the season, as I said, it won't be disastrous, but it felt like 2 points dropped. But in terms of Lukaku and Virgil van Dijk, I said to many people, forget Virgil van Dijk, man. Virgil van Dijk don't get rustled, man. Even Matip was that good that Lukaku got the better of him a couple of times in the first half, but in the second half, Matip upped it, and that wasn't even a battle, even on the one-on-one situations. But overall, 100% didn't deserve to win that, and Chelsea probably very good for their point.
A few comments about your attack and Firmino's injury. William here says, if we want to win the league, we need a new attacker. Manny is finished. Someone said Firmino might be out for 2 months. Any truth in that?
We don't know yet. It's too early to say. Twitter rumors, saying 3 months.
Yota should have started. He was on form with it.
Yeah, he plays Bobby in the big games. SAEED. He plays Bobby in the big games. Maybe that was a prop. Now maybe there was a bad decision as well.
He loves doing that.
Hindsight, innit?
he does that all the time. I've noticed it with Klopp.
Again,
he did it last season as well with Jota when Jota was fit and firing. He would always pick Firmino in the big games, and I feel like sometimes Klopp does favoritize his trusted lieutenant.
He does, and that is a criticism of him from certain quarters, that he's too loyal to his old guard. Now they're calling it like Bobby's one of the old guard, whereas Jota, everyone wants Jota because he scores goals, but Jota's overall play is not quite polished. You know what I mean, Toby? It's like polished. Like,
it's not as good. His link up is not obviously not going to be as good as
he showed for the corner. He showed for that couple of minutes when he runs at you directly. He can be very dangerous. I think the selection was Bobby was again to stop Jorginho running the game from that midfield, because Bobby does that, and to a certain extent it did work until they totally retreated, which absolutely is their prerogative. That's the way you play, because that's what you got to do. People got frustrated with the acting and the cramping at the end, but every team does it. There's not a team that don't do it, so that's silly arguments.
We don't do it.
You don't have the wits.
You don't get you're never leading.
The street smarts.
You're never leading in it. That's why at that point in the game to do that shit. You understand?
Fair point. Philip says, here's a super chat for the Liverpool transfer charity fund. The squad depth is not good enough. Adrian says, disagree on that pocketing point, because in the first half, Van Dijk was sent to the floor. Matip got spun, but decision making from Mount and Havertz was poor. And this is something I'm seeing a lot since the Ronaldo transfer. Matisse, our grandpa Ronaldo bagged more than your number 9 in the same league with a major age difference. You man luck. The question is, who's banging more this season? Is it going to be Ronaldo or Lukaku?
I mean, this is Ronaldo, so I don't. First of all, the grandpa point. I think I made a point at the end of when I was going at SAEED in a very quick manner. I was saying something like walking stick, but I did say he's a very good signing. So I think Man United fans are a little bit overreacting to that one. Obviously, he's a great player. We know Ronaldo's a great player. No one's going to tell you otherwise. But when it comes to Ronaldo, I don't really get the. I mean, I do get the comparisons maybe because they were in the same league, but this is Cristiano Ronaldo. We're talking about one of the best players in the world. So it's of no slander to Lukaku that he didn't outscore him. He got more assists than him, which if you want to talk about that, you can mention that if you want to be balanced, but I'm sure you probably don't want to be. But I'm sure how many other top strikers did Ronaldo get more goals than last season in Europe? I mean, you can probably go through a whole heap of names where he got more goals. Do we not rate all the other strikers that got less goals than Ronaldo? We're talking about Ronaldo here. He shouldn't even be compared with Lukaku in terms of the career or anything. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Steve, I'm going to move on to you next. Before we do, the problem with Jota is he's quite erratic and goes long spells without being in the game. Steve, obviously that's two of the 3 realistic challenges to your title and defending your championship played on the weekend, Liverpool, Chelsea. In my opinion, I think Chelsea showed a bit more, being the away team, going down to 10 men and managing to hold on. But what do you think from where you're looking? Which one are you more scared of, if any, from that game?
I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed it, and a draw was a good result for us. It's too early to tell. It's too early to tell at the minute. I know Liverpool's got that run in them that we have. I don't think Chelsea have got that, but I think Chelsea's got that manager now that can get them wins, them draws that were in the past, that he turns them into wins. But you see, Liverpool, you could struggle a little bit, but then bang, kick into a 20-game run like we did last year. I think I can see that, but I don't know. It's open at the minute. United, I tipped at the beginning of the season as well to have a good season. They just signed Ronaldo. They've strengthened in all the positions they needed to strengthen, bar DM. But it's just too early. There's 3 games. It's between us 4. United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool for me.
Agreed.
Saeed's nodding in agreement. Harry says, big up the big 6.
Yeah, I got to.
Big up, Harry.
Ask yourselves this: what is James supposed to do in that situation? The ball hit his thigh, then his arm, and then he made the motion.
I mean, it's all happening at such speed. It's very difficult in that situation. Like your natural instincts as a defender is to try and get something on it, but
I do.
What's done is done, isn't it?
I agree with the red card. But I also agree with what Matisse said about the way, was it Taylor, the ref?
Yeah, Taylor.
The way he went, he kind of saw about a second or two of it, and then he just went and made the decision.
By the way, the you know the Chelsea what's it, petition?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It got a lot of votes.
I signed it too.
You signed it, yeah? Good man.
Like no, because
he signed it in banner though. His battery.
No, I'm serious. Because all right, Chelsea fans
it?
Chelsea fans think like, oh, he fucked them off and whatever. Yeah, trust me, Liverpool fans think he's the worst referee as well. Because after that, every 50-50 he gave to you lot from a Liverpool fan from you. But by then, Spurs fans were Chelsea fans were fuming because of the red card. So you didn't notice the other little things that he let go and whatever. He was awful.
He was a mess.
Awful.
But the thing is, the standard of the refereeing in this country, in the Premier League, is woeful. How many games in the Euros did we watch? Was the referee ever the centre of attention? No. They always dealt with their shit in an accordingly manner. Every single time we have Premier League games, these referees want to be the stars of the show. And they find themselves being the main character. And absolutely nobody came to see you, bro.
That's
Do you know what I mean? I don't understand.
Actually, an arrogant thing to do the way he looked at the replay. Even though I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he almost was. He thought he was the shit. Like as if. Do you know what I mean? It's just. It's incredible.
I know. Of course, you need to see it because you didn't fucking spot it in the first place.
For me, if James isn't on the line, so if he's 6 yards forward and it hits his knee, comes up, hits his arm, it's a 50-50 whether he even gives that because of that rule where it hits his leg first and comes up.
Yeah.
The fact is, he's right on the line. It's going in without the hand. You know what I mean? If someone has a shot and in the box and it hits his knee and it could hit his arm, it could have gone anywhere. But I think the fact is, if it's anywhere else, it's 50-50. But because he was dead on the line, he gave it, and it shouldn't have been a red for me. It should have been a penalty and a yellow card.
But Steve,
that's what it is.
Steve, but you said it yourself. He's on the line. He's basically blocked a certain goal. Like the rules are, you're blocking a goal scoring opportunity, and you've made no attempt.
There's never been a yellow card in that situation.
You've made no attempt to play the ball.
It's a red card every time.
You can't play the ball with your hand. So what else is Anthony? Like I know Anthony Taylor. I'm not even disputing that he doesn't give Chelsea the decisions because I've seen some of the evidence. Like there's a backlog of evidence to say that this guy's gross negligence towards Chelsea when it comes to refereeing. But yesterday, I can't, or Saturday, whenever it is, I can't for the life of me understand what the arguments are about. He's deliberately moved his hand to block the ball. You can itch. You don't even need to freeze the picture. You can see it in real time. Like he's moved his hand. It's a red card.
And also, if he doesn't give it, I mean, it's going to be inconsistent. So every time we're going to say, "Oh, where
it's the rules."
You have to just give it, and then it's consistent throughout. And you know what I mean? I've never seen not one given for red card.
Second nature to sometimes I've played football, and sometimes when that happens, rather than taking your arm away, for some reason your brain tells you to kind of hit it forward.
It's a defense mechanism, isn't it?
Yeah. You realize what you've done, and it is what it is.
But I'm sure.
To be honest, I didn't even ask you guys about the Xhaka red card and what you guys thought.
Still more red card. He's a fool.
Yeah,
I thought it was fantastic because it won me $1,000.
It did, didn't it? By the way, you need to start putting in. Could you start putting your screenshots earlier, please?
Come on, man.
1850 in a weekend.
Yeah. If you don't mind putting your screenshots in the group chat just a bit earlier, so we can get involved as well. Because every time I go in there, you've already won.
That Calvin Phillips one done me, man. I looked at the time, I thought it's too fucking late.
Jesus Christ, I could use a bit of it, but obviously I know probably Turkish wants to move on, but just with that chat was up on the screen. I think look, you can argue both cases. Obviously, Ronaldo had a worse manager. I think Ronaldo. Someone did a really good thread on Ronaldo's time at Juventus. It's been a very unstable time in terms of manager switches and in terms of just recruitment and players coming in, players being sold. But then someone else in the chat put up a statistic that he got, I think, 13 penalties maybe last season or something. So there's for and against for everything there when it comes to that debate. But I just don't think it's necessary, to be honest. He's going to come to Man United. He's going to score goals. I think the only one downer or the one doubt or criticism or whatever I brought up last week on that deal, apart from obviously rattling SAEED, is the Bruno Fernandes situation. I think someone else brought it up on Sky the weekend past as well. Bruno Fernandes is used to be him in the main guy. So let's see now how he plays with Ronaldo, because for Portugal, it didn't work.
True. True. We're gonna see them this season a lot anyway, and we're here twice a week, so you guys are gonna get our opinion twice a week. Zion says crazy deals happening already. Camavinga to Real Madrid in advanced talks. Edouard from Celtic to Palace and Renato Sanchez to Wolves, the best transfer window in my opinion. Big up to everyone and Matisse. Yeah, the best transfer window. You look, GRIZZ. I don't know. Any Liverpool movement last day?
We ain't got shit.
Michael Edwards is left though. Michael Edwards is left, apparently.
Tic tac.
Left, didn't it? He hasn't left.
Tic tac. Tic tac.
What's that about? What's that?
Yeah, what does that mean?
That was me. So basically,
That's Pedro.
that's
Pedro,
basically that mad Spanish
El
TV
Chingrito or
guy
whatever it is. Yeah.
who's been saying
Yeah.
So in Spanish, instead of TikTok, they say instead of TikTok, he says tic tac, tic tac. About
PSP.
He said it.
He's doing it to throw PSG
today, and he had Arsenal fans on strings. I don't know what he meant.
Who?
Yeah. So basically, everyone's doing it. Everyone's imitating him because he's done it for like to PSG. Like it's a matter of time before your boys in our club. You know, one of those ones, and it didn't happen today. Apparently,
Liverpool got money, man. No money.
Today he got embarrassed apparently live on Twitch because it was supposed to happen before 6 p.m. or something. And
What Mbappe one?
yeah, and then everyone was on stream and he had like mad views on Twitch and so many people live, and it didn't happen. And then he went, important Falcon, I'll be back. And then he apparently bottled it. But at least I didn't bottle it in it. So I done my opening little video on my YouTube channel. Listen, everyone in the house, go on to subscribe to GRIZZ, go on my YouTube channel. There's gonna be loads of tic-tacs coming up, boy.
But yeah, there's a tic-tac to know. You know what I mean? Transfer news to tic-tac.
Nah, nothing. We're dead. We're trying to bring in a forward on the last day tomorrow. There's obviously some issues that we're going to discuss after it closes. There's no point discussing it now. I'm going to discuss it. You can jump on as well if you want. Give me your version of events as well. We're going to sort something out.
Yeah.
What do you man do to Kabak as well, man?
I've said to you, bravo.
Highest young prospects in European football. Next minute he's gone to Norwich.
Wow, he's at Norwich.
I told you he was a whoop CIL player last year.
I blame Liverpool.
You can't blame us, bro. Got to blame the.
Kabak was in the team, was playing for Schalke. They got relegated, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So, when Liverpool brought him in, I was always questioning the logic behind that. Obviously, they were scrambling at that point, but he wasn't good before. So
he wasn't.
It is what it is. TAVFC GRIZZ, a question for you: is it a matter of if and not when Gerrard becomes Liverpool manager?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think Kabak.
He'll be the next. Everything is geared towards. People have spoken to his people. He knows as well what the situation is. He will be the next Liverpool manager. Clip this shit up, man. He'll be the next Liverpool manager after Jurgen Klopp.
Well, the next one, yeah.
Who's that? Gerrard.
Watch it be Frank Lampard now.
So it's gonna be, that means it's going to be Kenny Dalglish. It's going to be Kenny Dalglish.
Oh my god! And it will be Gerrard's brother who used to play in, I don't know, League One. It'd be like, no, I didn't say Steven. I meant the other one. So
Stevie G. You know what I mean?
Who's next?
Top
of the league next.
It don't look like we're getting a forward anyway. The sounds that were coming out of City today is like he's happy with it. So I can't see it. it.
Same with us. He's actually happy with it. Pep's happy with the situation at City.
I mean, it's all right for me saying we need a forward. But when you've scored 10 goals in your first 2 home games,
yeah,
you know, if Pep Guardiola tells me he's happy. But I was a bit worried. But if he's not worried, what can I say? I mean, Ferran Torres did make me feel a little bit better at weekend because the first game, his movement was a little bit stiff, and I thought, oh God, they can't. But then the game against Arsenal, to be fair to his movement, even Alan Shearer pointed it out on Match of the Day, his movement was pretty good. And then there's all sorts coming out, whether City have put it out about last season, he was doing training as a 9, and he was with Aguero, and they were trying different things. Whether they're doing that to get the City fans calm, thinking, relax a bit, because we're not going to get a striker, I don't know. But I ain't got a clue. If he says we're ready, then we just got to batten down the hatches and go for it, I think.
He's always had good movement, though. I remember watching him when you lot beat Sheffield United 1-0 last season at their ground. He didn't even score, but like just the positions that he takes up, they're playing 3 centre backs, and he's always able to find space with Ferran. But I just don't think that him as the long-term solution up front is sustainable for Man City. I think you lot just need a bagsman, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well,
they've got a system, the system could help them.
If there's any team that can survive without a striker, it's them, right?
Yeah, but there's a difference between surviving and then winning the Champions League and winning the Premier League. Do you get what I'm saying? They're not there to survive. They're there to conquer. So,
yeah.
Tottenham's conquering right now, top of the league.
Yeah, it's good. Life is good. Performances aren't great, but there's work to be done. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's work to be done. But ultimately, I'm not going to be sagged that we're top of the league. 9 points out of 9, 3 clean sheets. Even Nuno said it as well. Like, he said it after the game. He said that the performance is far from what he would like, which is good. So at least he can see it as well, because I was at the game and we won 1-0, happy with the result, but it's just a frustrating watch because even though we weren't as bad as we were against Wolves, it's just like there's clearly something missing in this team. Like, the ball gets into the middle third and it's so slow, it's so ponderous. The ball gets into the final third, it's so slow, it's so ponderous. We just aren't able to penetrate sides as well as we want to see our team penetrate sides as fans. And it's concerning. It's concerning because if we continue at this rate, I'm going to be sat here in a couple of weeks saying the same things, and it's not going to be a W that I'm celebrating. It's going to be an L. Like, it's just you just got to be real. You just got to be real with it. But honestly, big up to Nuno. I think defensively we've been really good. The first 3 games of the season. Sanchez and Dyer, I don't trust them, but they're playing really well at the moment. Reguilon and Tanganga, they're playing well. Højbjerg, man of the match performance. Son, 2 and 3. So hopefully we can bring in some new signings, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Skip's looking good, man.
Yeah.
He's
to me, he's looking better than Højbjerg.
Nah,
Like,
no chance.
Skip's looking really
No
good,
chance.
man.
Skip with the thing with Skip, I think he's basic in possession. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he had
So
a
is Højbjerg.
Nah, Højbjerg is way better than Skip in possession.
Very basic, man. If that's how you
No. It's night and day between him and Højbjerg. And Højbjerg is not even like a top tier ball player like that, but he's much better in possession than Skip. I think Skip he's basic in possession, but I think he's done okay for Spurs. Like, bearing in mind he's 20 years old, he's come into the team, started all 3 games. I think defensively he offers us way more than some of our other options in our team, like wings, etc. I think him playing at the base with Højbjerg playing slightly further ahead of him, it gives that third midfielder a bit more license to do damage. And unfortunately for us, the midfielder who would be perfect for this position in our team, he doesn't want to play for Spurs, and he's not asked, and it's pissing me off. So, yeah.
Original says they're doing the right thing. Wait the year for Kane, unlike a panic buy, and just filling the hole for the sake of it. Matisse, a couple questions for you before we continue about the current weekend of football. Question for Matisse: would you take Calvin Phillips over Saul right now if he's available? Also, a question for all of the panel: is Mbappe leaving PSG on deadline day?
Well, first of all, Calvin Phillips is definitely not going to be available. I mean, it's way too late to be trying to take out a key cog of the Leeds team with very little time to replace. Saul, they're still working on it because Saul is obviously available for loan or transfer. Atletico Madrid have been offering him out to Liverpool, to whoever they can find this summer, because they've signed De Paul and obviously his wages are very extensive. It's at this point, it's a very hit and miss whether that deal's going to get done, because there's a disagreement about whether we should be paying an obligation to buy or an option to buy. Obviously, Chelsea don't want to be involved in any obligation, but Atletico Madrid are trying to get him off the books on a permanent. So, yeah. I mean, and my thoughts on Marina out. I think people are underappreciating just how much she's changed in terms of her business dealings since that horrific summer. I think 17-18 under Conte. When we signed Drinkwater, Bakayoko, all those guys, Zappacosta, etc., and whoever else came in that window as well. But since Petr Cech's come in, I believe Makelele is a little bit involved as well. Last summer, this summer we've gone for top targets, we've gone for elite players that we've scouted extensively, and we're trying to shift off the dead wood that's in our team, and there's a lot of it, and it's very difficult to get rid of them in this financial climate, but they're doing their best. I think a lot of people are forgetting when it comes to bringing in players. Yes, we don't need the money, but we need to get rid of them because we can't have ridiculous amount of people in our squad. We have to have a certain amount of people in the squad to submit to the Premier League. You can't have Drinkwater, Bakayoko, Zuma, who's obviously only just gone to West Ham, who were haggling for weeks over the price, and then there was an issue with the medical. You can't have all these guys sitting in the under-23s playing Premier League 2 matches on 100 grand a week. That's not a sustainable way to run a football club. So when you see the way Barcelona are run, when you see the way Arsenal are run, like, how can you really be Marina out? You might have criticisms of certain things that she does, but at the end of the day, she's one of the best negotiators in football. She's very difficult to deal with, and she makes sure that we don't get robbed and dragged across the mud. Today, Sevilla tried to up the fee for Kunde after we sold Kurt Zuma to West Ham. They tried to be sneaky and up the price that they verbally agreed on, and we told them to go and suck themselves, and as we should. Like, what the hell is this? Do you think we're going to just continue to just like keep paying whatever people want and getting mugged off? Look at the way Liverpool are run as well. They don't go splashing the cash, hasn't stopped them from having success. So I think people just like to see big, bits of money dashed about. But again, like I said, if you see Chelsea's net spend this season, we haven't spent a penny. So we're run properly right now. It's not the Chelsea that used to come into transfer windows and splash ridiculous amounts of money and not recoup any of it in sales. So I'm good.
Like, look on the bright side. Look at what the hell Arsenal are doing, and I wonder why there's a Marina out question even coming to the panel, because that's mad to me. The business Chelsea have done is good.
But also, football fans only switch on for the transfer window. They think Marina's just in Barbados for the rest of the year. She's the one that negotiated the Nike deal. She's the one that negotiated the Travaglia deal. I know we don't care about this, but this is business. This is how you have to run a football club on a daily basis. The sponsorships, the agent fees, all of the buyback clauses. Huh? No, I'm not a PA, but I just don't really like slander. I don't like slandering.
Who's calling for Marina out anyway?
Well, there's
done a fantastic job since she's come in. She's done a fantastic job.
She
came in when you lot were mudded. Didn't she come in that January 2019? She came in, or the season before that?
I can't. She's always been at the club, but she's always like got kind of promotions. She's been working with Roman for like 24 years. She was part of.
But as in like when she stepped into her current role, that's as chief exec. I don't know what, I can't even remember what director of football. She's kind of shared Petr Cech's also sharing that role as well versus recruit. But she's that technical director, right?
Yeah, technical director. Yeah. But she has to run the club on a daily basis. It's a super club that she's running. It's not easy. I think sometimes people on social media, they just think, if I just do some calculations and get my calculator out on my phone and say, he's 10 million, he's 15 million, and that adds up to this, and then and then we can go and move forward. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, then anybody would be sitting there. And again, we've just spent half the show criticizing Arsenal seasons. So then for Chelsea fans to be criticizing a woman that's set up multiple, big sponsorship deals to keep this club, on a positive trajectory, I just think is a little bit stupid. It just goes to show the lack of understanding for what her job title actually is. So it's just a bit stupid, to be honest.
Man, I'm saying you got a soft spot for Marina, Matisse.
I know someone saying
do you know what? Yeah, man's not single. Man is not single. I've got no reason to simp. I've got no reason to simp for a 45-year-old woman. Nah, be himself. I've got no reason.
I'm not even sure if it's a soft spot.
It's not a soft spot. It's just it's
a hard spot in my opinion.
No. That's what we're not gonna do. That's what we're not gonna do.
I don't know.
That's what we're not gonna do.
The way you were on there for like 10 minutes.
No, because do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Man. You can fall asleep if you want. Listen, we're going to talk about your team in a minute and that beautiful, sexy football that you've been playing over the weekend. So let's talk about that in a minute. If you do talk about fall asleep, I was watching your stream on Twitch. I was listening to your commentary on my Twitch, because I was like, I'm done talking. All I can hear is like, Fred, Fred.
The quality player Fred.
No, I take everything back, man. I'm done with Fred.
It's so boring.
Fred Shane is gone.
I was flicking between you and Rants.
Surely
it's
not.
Just like, who do I want to hear cuss off Man United more? It's beautiful.
Surely not. The quality player Fred, the one that Pep Guardiola wanted.
You can have your moment.
Quality player Fred.
You said you was bored, didn't it? So Toby, he said he was bored. So let's talk about Man United, yeah? Let's talk about Man United. Obviously, you got your win. Listen, but my God, that performance, what the hell was that?
I heard Sancho put in a ball and chain performance. I hate to see it.
Listen, why is everyone getting on Sancho, man? He's just come to the league. It's a difficult league. It's not what he's used to at Dortmund. Everyone give him time, man. You know what it is, yeah? Shai Havertz was one proper.
Hey, I was just about to stick up for him, and you come and do that. What are you doing? You ruined it. Now I got to slander him. What are you doing?
Say it then. Say it with your chest then. You might as well. I don't want you to hold back.
I was literally just about to stick up for him, and then you start cussing my man. I'm like, I don't know what to do now.
Listen.
Because on the London show, I said to Tony, I said, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Sancho's numbers drop down. You look at the movement, the off-the-ball movement, Bellingham and Reina and all these guys at Dortmund, they give him, they make these runs, they play, they're great combination play. Then he's doing combination play with Wan-Bissaka. Come on now. It's not really the same thing, is it? So it's going to take time, man. But now I feel like just saying he's a bum.
I'm saying it, but I'm not honest, man. The more the tastes later on.
Sancho will come good, man. We know about his quality. Like he had a stinky performance. He had a stinky performance. We'll eat that one up. Like he's gonna be loading in a couple months.
Yeah. Nah, you know what? Yeah, last night I called it Money House Football because it's like smash and grab. You know what it is, yeah, right? I've watched United for so many years, man, and I just don't want to see that type of football. Yes, when I look at what's going on right now, and I look at what GRIZZ was saying about Liverpool, and they should have got the 3 points, and Turkish, I mean, they'd pray for anything. When you look at it like that, you know what I mean? Perspective is one thing, but I mean, Matisse heard me. I was effing and jeffing. The midfield balance was shocking. We couldn't even play 5-yard passes, and we've got a team, and we've got a bench of Donny van der Beek, who I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Shit, that's right.
Flavor. Sorry?
So he's fucking shit.
You cursed it, man. You cursed it, man.
Can I ask you a favor, please?
It's like
Can you tell us Donny van der Beek
pays his subs, but everyone knows he's shit, so we just ignore him.
Van der Beek is not shit, man. He's not shit.
Can you sell us Van der Beek?
Why is he not playing?
Because Ollie's stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Stupid, man. He's
Steve, I beg you, just watch Ajax, man. I'm begging you, watch Ajax a couple years ago. Van der Beek.
I don't watch that low-level football. You know what I mean?
They play Champions League. Van der Beek is a very good player.
By the way, is that my echo?
Give me Van der Beek, please. Give me
Van der Beek at Tottenham would be. Yeah, Arsenal, anyone.
I've said this time and time again. He was told in Amsterdam to bring back the loud pack. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, "Where's my loud pack? Where's the green stuff?" And he's not brought him. And now he's been bullied in a corner, and he can't get in that midfield ahead of Fred and McTominay. Who else is in there?
Fred's quality though, so it makes sense.
I'm done with this midfield. And you know what's pissing me off, right? Is the fact that Manchester United now have said no to Camavinga. They've said no to Saul. They said no to Neves. Was quality yesterday. I mean, we look at that field thinking.
How do you know United said no to all them? Because if City say no to him, apparently we got rejected. But you just say no to him, or have you been rejected?
No, because the thing is, at least you went for him though. We've not even actually done anything.
How do you know that? Are you in the boardroom now?
Well, part 2 of this argument. Let's go.
Well, I don't want to go there. You know what I mean? He's still butthurt. He's still salty about the Ronaldo deal. Just get over him, man. You got Ferran Torres, man.
I live with a Man City fan as well. He's salty as shit, man. He's been
that's salty,
all day.
man.
Let's be real. Saj is not a Man City fan, man. Come on.
The same way you're not a Tottenham fan when you wear other kits as well.
No, I wear foreign kits, bro. I don't wear UK kits.
Hey, listen, you wear foreign kits on this stream. What you do in your own time in your living room, we don't know.
I refuse to be
wearing winning shirts. And
listen, he's probably got some other Premier League shirt under that Tottenham kit.
I don't have any. You never know, bro. I wear foreign shirts. I like to venture out, bro. There's no problem with that. Yeah?
I told people about Money Mace. You know what I mean? This kid's quality. And I said, for me, I think he'll stay in the team. Ronaldo or not, mate. Greenwood has stayed. He's got this defined quality that for me, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Like the way he scores and the way he has that finishing.
That was terrible.
Like, no one.
That was terrible.
Nah, I don't think it is, man. You got to realize, that shot is fizzing. He does it all the time, but hold on. Greenwood is an excellent finisher, no doubt.
but that is a terrible, terrible goal.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
You
have
it's
to give
straight
credit
at
to
him,
him,
bro.
He does it all the time. He does it all the time. He does it all the time, though. He thinks that you're gonna get it, and the power, the speed, and the accuracy.
Not having that one. That was terrible.
No, you're not having that one. You're not having that one. You're not having that one, Saeed.
I'm not having that one.
No, you're not having that one.
That's terrible.
Everything you said, everything that you call him Money Mace or whatever fucking crap.
By the way, Money Mace is Mason Mount's nickname, so you stick to Mason Gunwood, right?
Yeah, Gunwood and all that business. Yeah, 100%. Because he's I'm saying, you can have that because he's ridiculous.
He's ridiculous for his age.
He's ridiculously good.
He is.
I'm not.
Is he the best young talent in the world right now? Do you reckon?
Hey.
No, he's not.
No,
it's not.
You always have to ruin it. You always have to ruin it. Why? You could just take the praise. You have to go and turn it up a
talk about
notch.
him as one of the best strikers, young strikers in the world right now.
You said, is he the best
that's
young
different.
talent?
Yes.
That's absolutely different from what you just said.
Yeah. I'll reword it.
Okay, rewind it.
You have to reword it.
Rewind selector. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, Thuggery, clip that up.
All right. Yeah.
Reel it in.
He's ridiculous. He's better than Martial, Rashford, all these other fakes. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. But to say that wasn't a goalkeeping error, you're bonkers, brother.
No, I don't think it is, you know. I don't think it is, man. You know what it is, yeah?
And you lot got terrorized by
Adama Traore.
Whoa,
you know what it is, though, right? I take everything back as well back to Traore because
he was mad.
Oh my God,
he had you lot. What did you
strings.
call him? Champions League Varane.
No, he didn't go Varane's side. Hold on a minute. He didn't go Varane's side. He wasn't.
He didn't give a shit.
Here we go.
Please,
we're gonna kick off now.
He went on everyone's side at the same time. Sometimes.
No, you know who he had stripping was Fred. Fred was there stripping all over that pitch, fam. It was long. It was peak to watch. It was peak to watch. Fred, man. Fred just got absolutely destroyed out there. It was like watching. Do you know what I mean? Someone in way out of their age group. They're just, trying to hang it with the big boys. He just couldn't handle it. He's there tugging. I don't know if maybe Adama had his Johnson's baby oil in his arms or whatever, make him slip and slide. Do you know what I mean? Covered himself up in that baby oil, all shiny and whatnot. Fred couldn't touch him. Every time Fred touched him, he just slipped, man. It was
eating grass, man. He was eating grass.
Talk about whoopsie aisle, Big Steve. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now my thing was, by the way, City wanted Fred, by the way, so it could have been a whole different story. But then again, it would have been probably coached better by Guardiola. My thing was, just to kind of sum it up, I think we got away with it. But when you look at it perspective-wise, they're the kind of wins, the their performances would have drew last year. So you got to take the positives, and I think. You know what I mean? We'll just move on. International break, 7 points out of 9. It isn't the best. It's not the worst. You know what I mean? So we'll just move on, and we moved on to Newcastle, and then we can just keep going. And Ronaldo's going to be back. Hopefully, that's going to be an unbelievable game. So yeah, we just got to keep moving on. But the football has to improve because I had Steve messaging me saying, "Bloody hell, what is sort of game is that? It's boring, man." But it is what it is, isn't it?
What did I tell you was going to happen though?
I know he said they're going to score.
I said Wolves. I watched them. The first 3 games, they've been good going forward, but they can't finish. So I said to Saeed, "Relax, man. United will win this 100%. One chance."
Steve, this was mental. Did you watch the game, Steve?
I watched it. That Trincao, who's on loan for Barcelona, is a brilliant player as well.
It was. I haven't seen anything like this for a long time. Like they had 6, 7. Clear cut.
That save from De Gea was class. The second by the cherry.
Ridiculous.
Best in the world, man.
Ridiculous.
The best what?
Here we go, innit?
What'd you say? Oh, for your full screen here. What did you just say?
I really. Remember when we said
this man? You know what it is? Yeah, Big Steve's been clipped up twice. He's like, "Yo, I want some of this shit."
Remember when we said that Saeed is too reactionary and he's so absolute in his statements?
No, but it's Toby. He thought he could say it under moderate. You know,
look at that.
I was like, "Excuse me."
No, you know what it is there? I'm kind of
Friday night, you said you was winning the quadruple live on the show. You said best of Stevie Wonder with your flag wrapped round you, and then 2 days later, you're screaming on your thing, going, "No, he can't play like this again." What is this? You're back to being the gingerbread man.
That's pretty accurate.
The gingerbread man.
No, you know what it is because Turkish said something. What did you say, Turkish? He's finished. It's past his best. Listen, De Gea is still there, mate.
I did.
Exactly. David De Gea for me is still world class, and I think we've just got to respect him what he's done in the Premier League. He's one of the best keepers in the world still. I think you got to respect him, man. Shout out to David De Gea. Yeah, man.
Because was it not long ago that we was talking about De Gea and Henderson potentially swapping?
No, not me.
What was your opinion on that?
I was saying David De Gea. I was always saying David De Gea. For me, David De Gea. Henderson's not done anything for me to prove that he's number one. David De Gea, for me, is still number one.
Mm-hmm.
And just in as well, Fabrizio Romano's tweeted that Camavinga, £28 million plus add-ons to Real Madrid. £28 million plus add-ons for Camavinga, and the Premier League stood still.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
He said he rejected the moves to anyone else. He just wanted to go there.
Well, I think Real Madrid.
To be fair, though.
Real Madrid is slime.
He says at the bottom of his tweet, he says he goes to Real Madrid. Camavinga picked Real over Manchester United and PSG.
But Erling Haaland release clause next summer. Mbappe for free because he's not going to move. Pogba maybe as well on a free. Real Madrid are potentially getting themselves sorted for not this season, obviously the following season.
No, they needed that as well.
Real Madrid do.
But they
do because their midfield is aging as well. So this is really important.
I don't think they win the league title this year in Spain. But you're right. All those pending deals, they're back up there if they get that crew together. I mean, Haaland and Mbappe, if they manage to pull that off.
Incredible, right?
Mad, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
What are you saying, man? The only people that can stop that is Man City, PSG, I guess.
Man City,
not even Chelsea.
Man City aren't going to pay Haaland's wages, right? Because they don't have the money. They can't afford it, right?
Yeah. Even Ronaldo Sanchez, though. Ronaldo Sanchez is at GRIZZ on loan. You could have got him on loan at least. Wolves have got him on loan.
He's injured, isn't it? Why are we going to buy another injury-prone player on top of injury-prone?
No, but apparently he's not out for long. It's about 2-3 weeks.
But he's always out for 2-3 weeks. That's our issue. Our players are always out for 2-3 weeks.
Especially you need someone durable, badly.
We need someone durable, but we're not getting it. We got Harvey Elliott, brother.
Tomorrow could be a mad day, man.
I think tomorrow will be a mad day. I think tomorrow 100% will be a mad day.
Please, I need to hit tic-tac for Spurs. Please.
You better get Emerson, innit?
Well, that runner from Barca.
I think Emerson is only dependent on if we move.
Why are you after? Is it because you got Doherty?
We need a right back, bro.
What about Dorothy from EastEnders? We spoke about this.
Get rid of him.
Nuno knows him well.
We need to get rid of him and Aurier. Get rid of both.
No, man, because that Tanganga's been pulling up numbers for me.
Tanganga's a centre back, bro, and we need someone who's better going forward. Like we need two reliable options at right back.
So you get Emerson, Chicken Royale, yeah?
Aurier wants to. I don't know much on Emerson, so I can't really speak on him. But I don't.
Is he good?
I don't know. I remember reading about him and Ferper when they were at Betis, but I've not watched him extensively, so I can't really give an opinion of him. But listen, we need a new right back for sure.
Everyone's selling people. Barcelona
round off the show. YUFC says, man are acting when Liverpool won the title. They won games they shouldn't have won. Sign of champions to win games that we shouldn't have won.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No problem.
Who approached whom in the City Ronaldo saga? What's the point of claiming Ronaldo rejected City when there was no bid on the table from City?
Well, it just, do you know what it is?
It's politics.
Yeah. I've had loads of DMs off United fans going, yeah, you got rejection of Ronaldo. If that's how they have become as a club, that it's some sort of victory that they think they've took Ronaldo, who was never coming to City, off us, then that's fine because no Man City.
Yeah, I understand that. But there was talks, preliminary talks.
We're winning trophies at the minute, yeah? We're winning trophies, and you're winning these little cups like the transfer window cup, the derby.
No, but I'm not celebrating. I'm not celebrating that. But my thing is,
I think
you're not celebrating.
I think the United fans,
he's enjoying yourself, Matisse. You should do it sometime, man.
Them kind of people have got to look at themselves in the mirror and think, what is that? Big Steve,
get a flag.
You sign Ronaldo. Is that how where they dropped as a fan base? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Get a flag, man. The Chelsea not doing flags in 2000.
I don't have the flag. I've got the scarf though. That what you're doing, isn't it?
What is that? Half an hour
celebration, nah?
Half an hour scarf. Are you mad? That says champions on it, bro. What do you think this is?
Why are you wearing shades?
Triggered then.
Why are you wearing shades?
Because I can. Why have you got your pina colada? Huh?
I said I've had half a injury in my chat this week.
Oh, what are they saying? What are they saying?
I've had half a injury in my chat calling me a plastic. I was at fucking work when I go every game home way in Europe, and some guys sat in fucking millions of miles away calling me a plastic. I've even been defending you tonight, SAEED. I've shown you the chat. Some guy in Pakistan was going to do you in. He's never been to England, but he's coming for you. I don't know how the fuck that works. I need to learn how to block all these messages, man, because I'm just...
You know the thing with you, I don't know
wait, okay, that was my cousin.
He was fuming, man. He was fuming.
Nah, listen, man. Hey, is gonna hate.
Obviously, we're in international break now. So, Saeed, what was you gonna say?
Nah, I thought you were gonna show the predictions and that, innit?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that now.
Okay.
Relax, innit? Okay, I had a bad week, so like you're so hyped.
Yeah, he's buzzing for it.
I'm rooting for you, Grizz. I'm rooting for you.
I don't feel like anybody got correct scores, did they?
So should we look at the last week's table? So this was the table beforehand, as you can see. There hasn't been much change. Everyone got 3 points. No one guessed the Liverpool-Chelsea result correctly. Here's all the predictions there.
Yeah.
We were very close.
That one goal of the Arsenal game, man. Sick of it.
Why did you give them a goal, man?
I don't know, man. I need to stop being... This is the second time I've done that. I did it for Brentford as well. I'm just going to start saying nothing for Arsenal at this point.
So, yeah, GRIZZ is
and then they go to Norwich and get free.
Pace setter, brother. Pace setter settings.
Yeah, you got to start strong, man. Start strong.
Yeah, I stay strong, brother.
Still very close. And one more question before we go. What do you guys think about Maguire? I don't see what the hype is about. Players just run past him all the time. He is slow on the turn.
He's always been slow, though.
Man. It's always been slow, exactly. So that's nothing.
We only just clocking now that Maguire's not quick.
He's a good centre back on his day, innit? But he's never going to be worth the 8 million that Man United paid for him, and I don't think he's an elite centre back as well. So
I think he's good at what he does. I don't know what people more want from him. You know what I mean? He's a good defender.
I mean, he cost 80 million. So they want Van
Dijk. They want Van Dijk is what they want.
They want an 8 million back.
Listen, man, you know what I mean? It's inflation. The market's inflated, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Nah, you just shit negotiators. That's what it is. Not to do with inflation.
Yeah. Glaze it out, man.
There you go. Now you're back.
No, but I just think for me, though, like, you know, Maguire, for me, when he does well, no one gives him credit. And then obviously that's one bad game and everyone gets on it.
I don't think that's true. He got lots of credit at the Euros. Listen, Maguire, I think it's fair to say, like, all bias aside, is a good centre-back. Like, for the most part, if he plays to his capability over the season, he's a good centre-back. But there's not really more beyond that for us to cling on to say that he's quality, he's elite, etc., etc. And he's playing for Man United and he cost 80 million. That's the issue, bro. He plays for United and he costs 80 million and he does not look like 80 million standard. That's all.
And when the benchmark is Van Dijk 75 plus a league title, that kind of has to happen. But listen, people, hour and a half in, still 5,000 people here. Before we go, just to remind you, we're on Spotify now, people. So an hour after this show ends, it will be on Spotify for you guys to listen to on the go if you prefer to do that. Obviously, it's up on YouTube. You can watch it back and all of that. Big up to Curtis and Lee Gunner in the chat. Big up Young's Teflon in the chat as well. I see you there today. Love for the support, my guy. And love for the support, everyone. The likes are up, you know, the engagement's up, the views are up, the figures are up, everything is up this season so far. So we're going to try, you know, keep this pushing on and try to give you guys some surprises over this season to come. Make sure you subscribe to every channel in the description. I know I've said it before.
Can I say, I'm nearly on 17,000. Please get me over that. I'm like 25 away. Surely you man can do me that.
Matisse is on. Matisse is 25 away from 17,000. The intro's about 30 seconds. I'm wrapping up about 15 seconds. Surely you can get that 17K hit. And likewise for the rest, people. GRIZZ and Steve channels recently started up. TOBS and SAEED been doing their thing already. Subscribe, put your notifications on. Even here, make sure you're subscribed and put your notifications on so you know when we're coming back. It's international break now. So times and days might change a bit. I believe this Friday, a couple of us are busy. So make sure you also follow the socials at The Big Six Show on Instagram, at The Big Six Show on Twitter to know when we'll be back. Love for the love, people. Take care. Until the next time, see you guys soon.